G'day.
G'day.
Hello.
How you going?
And welcome Matt, welcome everybody in the chat to the second annual New Year Top 5 stream. Look, we're 2 weeks into the year, so it's not exactly, fresh off 2024, but for me, Matt, there's no better way to kick the year off from a collecting standpoint than to get together with you and all these fine folks in the chat for about 90 minutes, chat about some of our favorite pickups, some of our favorite, memories and things that we've added to our collection last year, and obviously set up 2024 with our wish list. So that's what's on the agenda tonight, and I'm looking forward to it, mate. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I've been really looking forward to it, Scotty. It's just something, it's hard to get one-on-ones, isn't it? And it's just a different dynamic to sit with someone and just, chat about something that you love. So, 2023 was a big one. And
it was, mate. It was.
Hard.
Unfortunately, no like road trips or interstates in 2023, but that's all right. Still plenty of, still plenty of fun, moments with our little crew and getting on the hunt and stuff like that. So it was a great year for sure. And you're so right, dude. It's a very different dynamic, like just a 2-person live stream like this. Got to be honest, like I'm a touch nervous because I just feel like when there's just two of us, there's, you know what I mean? It's like you don't quite have the safety in numbers that we do have on other streams, but that's cool, man. We'll have a fun time. And also, just for everyone in the chat, and I'll run through who's in there and say g'day in a moment. Bear with us because Matt and I are both, oddly enough, slightly under the weather. Like I'm just a bit fluey or whatever. So anyways, bear with us. We're probably not in our finest fettle, but we'll get there.
We'll be right. Yeah, we'll get there. Lots of drugs.
Exactly. And hey, I mean, we're talking toys. Like it's hardly hard work what we're doing here. So lots of people turning into the chat early, which is awesome. G'day, Nate. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for jumping in early.
Yeah.
We've got Andrew, I believe.
That's Andrew. Yo, Gabba.
Hope you're doing well, Andrew. We've got Jewel. G'day, Jewel.
Hey, Jules.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, as usual.
We've got Sai. G'day, Sai. Thanks for tuning in, mate.
Excellent, all the way from the UK.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
We've got Dan Clark. G'day, Dan. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Thanks for joining us.
We've got the Insane in the Toy Brain gang. Daniel, Monique, hope you guys are doing well.
Hey, Dan, Monique. Yay.
Oh, man, we've got Nick Smith. We've got the Taylors. Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining us. I got to be honest with you. As I was sitting here getting set up, I thought, oh no, I missed Gladiators, but then I remembered that's tomorrow night. So I had a bit of a minor panic for a moment, thinking I missed the return of Gladiators to our screens. And so, I know Sai in the UK is a Gladiators fan from the 90s, and I think that it's coming back in the UK as well. So, anyways, looking forward to Gladiators coming back to our screens.
Let's give the Taylors a pump too.
Absolutely. Good call. Thank you for the reminder. Matt, absolutely. So tomorrow night, if you guys aren't aware, we've got the grand debut, the premiere of Totally Tailored Retro Hunters' first YouTube video at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow night, which I'm pumped about. So basically, same time as we're going live right now. This time tomorrow, the Taylors will be making their grand debut on the tube. So I'm excited for that. And anyone who's in the chat now joining, we definitely encourage you guys to go on over to Totally Tailored Retro Hunters on YouTube, give those guys a subscribe, and tune in tomorrow night, and we can enjoy that together. I'm looking forward to it. So good call there, Matt.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's already debuted, the new series in the UK. Okay, cool. It's weird though, isn't it? How it's like coming back in multiple markets. But anyways, looking forward to that tomorrow. But yeah, guys, thanks heaps for tuning in. Like I said, this is the second year we've done this, so we're trying to get a little bit of an annual tradition going where we just do like a quick 90-minute live stream at the very start of each year, and we just look at our favorite things, top 5 favorite things we picked up last year, and then obviously we put together a bit of a wish list for 2024. Now, the wish list, the way we approach that, and we'll talk about it more when we get to that, is it's not grails. It's like a focus list of the stuff that we really want to pick off this year and we want to make it attainable, like give ourselves a chance of going 4 from 5 or 5 from 5. So that's the way we approach that. It's about collecting priorities for the year. So
but before we can't have 5 grails, can we, Scotty? Because you might end up doing the next year and you'll have nothing.
No, exactly.
That's
So So yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. But before we get into the wish list for 2024, obviously we're going to count down our top 5 favorite pickups from last year, from 2023. And on that note, obviously Matt and I are going to be showing you some cool stuff that we picked up. But we want as much interaction as possible from you guys. So we would love to, just as we work through, just hit us in the live chat with the favorite things, your things that you're most grateful that you picked up last year, or whatever, just cool moments from 2023 that you're happy about, whether or pieces that you've added to your collection. And obviously, once we get to the wish list for 2024, let us know what you're on the hunt for. But we want to keep it punchy. We want to keep it to 90 minutes. So I reckon we rip straight in, Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Sounds good. I went first last year, so would you like to take the honours this year?
Oh, okay. We can do that. Absolutely. So let's do this. I'll give you some honourable mentions, some things that didn't, just very, very quickly, things that didn't quite crack the top 5 in terms of 2023 pickups. Then you can do the same, and then I'll go 5 and we'll count down. We'll go back and forth.
All right, cool.
Alrighty. So a couple of very quick honourable mentions. I did watch our this same stream from last year, Matt, and in honourable mentions, you had some nostalgic books that you picked up in 2022. It's my turn now, because I was fortunate enough to get this book into my collection. And Sai from the UK, who's in the chat, I've heard his brother in his videos talk about these Usborne books. Super nostalgic for me. It really doesn't get much more nostalgic than Usborne World of the Unknown Monsters. I had this book as a kid, this exact same 1989 print, so the second print, and the artwork and all the little features in here are just like imprinted in my memory. And if not for this book, I don't think that I would have the love for things like Monster in My Pocket and things like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And classic horror, classic monsters. It all was really something that captured my imagination at a super young age, thanks to this book. And on top of being something that's super nostalgic to have it back in my collection, it was a very special gift indeed from Matt. So I had to give this one a plug, because super special. I've not done like a dedicated video on it because I'm still tracking down the other 2 in the series, which were UFOs and ghosts. And when I can eventually get those, I'll do I'll do a video where I talk about my memories of these books. That's a quick honorable mention. Second one is just something completely random, but I'm so glad I picked it up, and that is the knockoff Madball style Ghoulieville Slugger style bat that I got from Second Childhood Toys and Collectibles in February, I believe. It was just such a random piece that I saw sitting on the floor, and I love the 80s gross out aesthetic and all the Madballs and all the knockoffs, and Ghoulieville Sluggers were like a knockoff Madball bat, and this is a knockoff of that. So this is essentially a knockoff of a knockoff, but it's awesome. It displays so good, and I'm really happy I picked that up.
And everyone, he takes it to collector cons and he beats us with it too. If he wants a toy and he wants it to. Bang.
I make a path in front of me with the ugly stick, as Andrew would call it, which I love. And last but not least, guys, just a super quick third honorable mention is something that totally wasn't on my radar to start the year. That's Kenner Jurassic Park, but I picked this up, right? The young T-Rex, and the young T-Rex is complete with his little battle wound here. And like I said, totally not on my radar to start the year. But I basically had a friend of the channel who reached out to me on Insta, who was looking to part with some of his childhood toys. I went round to his house. We spoke for ages about like the stuff that he was into as a kid. And I ended up doing a deal on a few bits and pieces of his childhood collection. And I was just so impressed by this toy. The sculpt of it, the face sculpt, the texture of the skin. I mean, this is just friggin' awesome, man. Like 1993. So it's 30 plus years old now, and it feels like something that could have come out this year and held up to toys of the current era in terms of the sculpt and feel and everything. I'm just super impressed with it. So not a top 5 just because it's not a line that I'm really focusing on, but I've just picking this up. Like I've constantly had it in my hands throughout the year, just because I just really am impressed by it. So I had to give that one a quick mention as well.
Cool figure. I love those.
Cool figure for sure.
I've got mine in my collection somewhere down there. But yeah, that's one of my favorites from childhood that survived. It's great. I think I'm missing a little bit that comes
The
out.
little,
the little, it's very cool.
The little battle wound or whatever. Yeah,
it's got that little real feel. You want to check the chat at all? Give it a bit of a
Let's. Andrew's asking if there's a centerfold monster in the Osborne book. Probably nothing too attractive, but the artwork in that book is just incredible.
Yeah.
And Nate's saying best thing in 2023 was to start the YouTube channel. And dude, it was, you know what? 2023 was the year that we kind of became connected with you through the YouTube and also had the pleasure of meeting you face to face as well. So that's awesome.
I think Pete's in the chat too. I think if you go up a little bit further, there's Pete.
Oh, Pete. Yep. G'day, buddy.
He's in there. Yeah, g'day, Pete.
Hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah, good news about those Black Caps beating Pakistan. Well done.
That's it. Hope you're having a nice weekend, Pete. Thank you for tuning in, mate. Sorry I missed you there. We've got Adam. G'day, Adam.
G'day, mate.
Hope you're doing well, mate.
TV. Sorry.
No, that's fine, mate. Just
people. No, I'm apologising to Adam. Sorry, we're
no. People are appreciating the Madballs bat. That's for sure. And we've got VTR Dave jumping in. G'day, Dave. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you for joining us. Alrighty, let's get some honourables, Matt.
Oh, honourables. Yeah, I don't have a great deal. Look, something that I started picking up this year is Black Star figures, and it all started with Mr. John Blackstar himself. It took a while to get him to be complete, but Black Star is definitely a line. I'm just chucking in front of my ugly head, but this is a definite line. I thought he had a man bun there for a moment, but no, it's just his hair. He's got good sweeping black hair. But
good head of hair on John Blackstar, for sure.
I think I've picked up 6 of the figures at the moment. I think he's the only complete one I've got. There's another one, I think is Lava Lock. So he's another one that I've picked up. He's not quite complete. I think he's Sparky. He's got a little feature on the back, and he should spark in his mouth, but it's not working, sadly. But 6 of those figures I've picked up so far in 2023, and really, so definitely I think 2024, and they're not on my list of favorite pickups for 2024, but I think there will be more happening.
They're not on your wish list for 2024?
No, they're not.
But you're still hoping that some of your 2024 pickups include that line, yeah.
Yeah, I'll still pick them up. Another line that I've been loving last year was the DC Superpowers by McFarlane. So although not vintage, obviously based on the original Superpowers from the 80s. And they've just gone exactly the same, like the colouring of the boxes, the artwork. It just looks like it's continued on from the 80s, this series. I think the articulation is a little bit better. They've got to throw in a few new vehicles like the Invisible Jet, and we've got the I've got it up there. It's the Batwing. So
the Batwing's awesome.
Yeah, this line is doing really well. I'm really impressed, and I haven't got it with me, but I mean they're up there. There's the Sectars as well. I've been getting a couple of Sectars through 2023, so I'm going to chuck that on my honourable mention list. Sectars as well for 2023. So yeah, they're my honourable mentions that I can come up with at the top of my head.
Nate's suggesting maybe Zippo light a flint to fix that spark mechanism.
Okay, I like it. I'm getting tips from the pros, so I'm gonna have to crack him open, anyway. Or do I just? Oh dear, that's sad. Nate,
it'd be pretty sweet to bring him back to his former glory with the spark feature, though.
Oh, wouldn't it? Like I've got one up there, another spark one, and it works, and it's just a brilliant effect. All those sparks shining in the translucent head, so it would be absolutely fantastic to get him back to his former glory.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Message to Nate.
Oh shit! What am I doing here? Sorry. How do I do? Okay, there we go. Oh, sorry, Matt. I took you off the stage. I'm a complete rookie over here. That's all right. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that.
So I'm just going to black myself out for a sec. Yep. Keep going.
All righty. I'll go my 5.
Yeah. You start. Good.
Okay, so number 5 for me. So my 5th favorite pickup, and look, just some context. I picked up a lot of great stuff in 2023, but I didn't pick up any I didn't pick up many big ticket items, big play sets, big vehicles, stuff like that. So it was a little bit tricky for me. And the things that I've picked up, most of them have a bit of a story to go with, and none of them are online pickups. They're all out in the wild pickups, and they also have a bit more meaning to me when you're actually out and about finding the stuff. So just a little bit of context. And it's always hard to pick, mate. These are just the things that I've had them, that I've just been most grateful to get into the collection this year. And number 5 for me, and I've shown it off before. I mean, you guys, if you follow the channel, you'll have seen it, and it's the Skeleton Warriors carry case.
That was awesome. Yeah,
I love Skeleton Warriors, and Skeleton Warriors is a line that I really delved into last year. Matt, you kicked me off Christmas 2022, so it was really a line that wasn't really high on my list until the very end of 2022, but right throughout 2023 was very much like a Skeleton Warriors year for my collection. And I just think it's a super, super underrated line. And I'd never seen this carry case before. And it was gifted to me while we were on a Collecticon toy hunt by a friend of the channel, which, again, just makes it all the more special and pushed it into the top 5 for me. So big shout out to Abdul if he's watching, man. And, absolutely love the carry case. I've never seen this before, and it's in beautiful condition. All the what do you call it? The trays inside are all in nice condition. That artwork is tremendous, but it does make me kind of wish that we got a figure of the female human character.
Yeah,
that's featured prominently here.
A bit of a shame they didn't.
But I just love this thing. I just love this carry case, and it's just a really nice backdrop to just display to the Skeleton Warriors collection, because with Skeleton Warriors we didn't get a play set. You know what I mean? So
no.
It's cool to have something like this to display, as a backdrop to the figure collection. So really happy with this. This is my number 5.
That's awesome. And it actually, when you got that, I went, you know what? I'd love to get a collector's case for my collection, not for the Warriors, but for Masters of the Universe. So that kind of inspired me then to go off and find something like that for me.
Well, the collector's case was just such a staple of 80s and 90s action figures. And some toy lines, you can really picture them. Like the Turtles ones are ones that you see relatively commonly. I've seen Superpowers ones. I've seen Motu ones. But then there's some lines where you really don't see them too often. Skeleton Warriors, I hadn't seen that one before. But yeah, the carry cases were such a staple of 80s and 90s action figures, and they just display great. So,
Yeah. Can you imagine going to school with a carry case full of action figures? I'm not sure if it would have worked, but it's a cool
I know.
Cool thing, right?
Yeah, Pete, I keep the Skeleton Warriors in my closet, mate. That's I don't like to put those on display.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's a good point. So there's quite a few action figure lines where there was a cartoon with a female character, and the female characters for boys' toys lines didn't always make it to the actual toys themselves.
She was due for the Series 2 release, though. Remember?
Yeah, and the Series 2, I've seen photos of. I've seen concept photos in Toy Fair catalogs and stuff, and they look wicked. So,
would have been brilliant. Yeah, as you said, underrated line.
Definitely.
Amazing little find.
Number 5.
All right. Yes, I've got to go remember. Okay, so we did our stream, I think it was, January, obviously, last year. And I don't know, maybe Mr. Luke Reynolds was watching that. I'm not sure, but he cottoned on what I was after. And he, everyone who knows Luke Reynolds just knows that he's just a lovely man, brilliant in our toy community, very generous. And he put this figure together for me and sent it to me, and he was, even now I'm a little bit speechless, but he blew my mind. And it's Lionheart from Supernatural's line.
I love that figure.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. And all that, you can't see it on camera, but I'm moving it the wrong way. The hologram. Oh, there you go. The hologram works on his shield, and I guess there's his face. So look at that. He's sort of, it's just brilliant, this figure. And it was the last one I needed just to complete the tall 5-6 inch figure line. I've still got to get a couple of the Ghostlings, but Luke sent this to me. I told him through the week, I went, this is getting onto my list. He's like, don't put it on there just because I sent. I went, no, mate, you don't understand what it meant to me to get this figure from you. Like, you've put it together like bits and pieces and built it and sent it to me. You didn't have to do that. And yeah, so that happened. I'm going by not favorite items. I'm going by the time. I think I did it last year, the time I received them throughout the year. So this was February, about a month, 6 weeks later, I had received this after our live stream, and I'd specifically pointed it out. So it's a bit of a spoiler alert for people later on, but yeah, this figure was on my list for last year. I just gave that part away. Sorry, Scott.
No, that's fine, mate. That's all good. That's all good. Yeah,
it's a brilliant.
It's not just a random gift. It's something that was high on your list.
Yeah, it was high on the list, and I can't remember. G'day, Adam. It's good to see you. I don't know if Lukey had watched the video. He must have, and that's why he I think he messaged me and said, don't you go hunting. I've got a special gift for you. You don't go trying to find that figure. And I went, oh, no, don't do that. And he's like, no, I'm doing it for you because you've done this for me. I'm like, too kindly.
Awesome.
I really appreciate it. So that's my number 5, Lionheart.
Good stuff, mate. That's awesome. Just want to say g'day to Damien. And we've got Ed5 tuning in. G'day, mate. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, Lionheart is an awesome figure. And as someone who also loves supernaturals, and I'm regularly looking on eBay and stuff for them, it seems like that Lionheart figure is one that's very breaky. For whatever reason, you see a lot of them with the arms broken off. I don't know whether... Yeah, it's like a lot of the Lionhearts I see have either no arms or the arms have come off and they're just separated or whatever. And they need a bit of TLC, but it's a beautiful figure for sure.
Yeah, you gotta love the holograms.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, number 4 for me, and it might be something that you think would be higher than number 4, but it had to make my top 5. So
yours is in like level of like 1 is like, oh, my ultimate favorite for the
my favorite piece I picked up this year. These are in order. Yeah, these are in order. So
we did this last year. It was opposite. We're weird. I'm weird. I think you're doing it.
No, hey, listen, we each take our own approach on it. That's fine. But yeah, no, I've done it as like counting down my favorites. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is number 4. Now, you guys, if you follow my channel, you know that as random as it is and kind of obscure and underappreciated as it is, Ring Raiders is probably one of the 3 or 4 most nostalgic toy lines and favorite toy lines of my childhood. Looking at it now as a collector who collects way more toy lines than the lines that he had as a kid, it's not one of my favorite toy lines to actually look at the toys and so on now. But in terms of pure nostalgia, it was right up there. And I was lucky enough this year to pick up the flagship, the big boy playset of the toy line, and it's the Air Carrier Justice. So this featured in a Collecticon toy hunt where I was drooling all over one that Tony B had from Uncle T's Toys, and I didn't buy it because I was worried about display space, and when you see something at a toy fair, you don't really have time to do research and work out if it's complete or not, and study it and try and work out, is it a good deal, is it not? Like at a toy fair, like sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and buy it, and I didn't. But then obviously a few months later into the year, right, pretty close to the end of the year, like November of last year, we hit the road, we went up and we went and saw Tony B, and we did some toy hunting in his garage and went through his full stash, and he had this, and he just gave me a great deal, and we used 2 ones to try and get this as complete as we could. It's only missing one of the landing gear, and Tony messaged me about 3 weeks after that to say he'd found the other set of landing gear for me, which is just awesome. So it's not only the big play set of the line, but it also folds up to a carry case, and it's awesome. Now, I said that you might think that it would feature higher than 4, and the reason for that is having played around with this a little bit, it's actually not a great toy. Like the commercial shows all these cool features, and I can't figure them out. And from looking at this playset in the commercial, it looks like they used the prototype in the commercial that's very different to the final toy.
Right.
And I can't figure out the features. I can't figure out how to get the planes into here and stuff like that. So, anyways, when I made
it might have been a specially designed prototype or something just for
I don't know. Like even just to look at, when you look at the version from the commercial up close, you can see it's different because the stickers are all different.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a bit different. But in any case, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my hands on the instruction manual for this, even just like a PDF from the web, just an instruction manual that shows how everything works, because maybe there's some parts missing that I don't know about. But look, for the simple fact of how nostalgic Ring Raiders is, and this being the biggest playset in the line, it had to make the top 5. So it's my number 4. And don't get me wrong, I'm still very happy to have it in the collection because it displays beautifully. And what do I collect for? I collect to display, not to sit on the floor of the toy room and play with these things. So I'm not sweating the features, but it's more just. This thing is, I think, a little bit better in theory than practice. So for that reason, it's at number 4.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's funny because that, as we say, that's the way we kind of play though. Like you've tried to mimic the commercial, and you like going, this is not working out. Like as a kid, you'd probably try and do the same, wouldn't you? Like you look, I've seen that commercial. I'm going to do the same as the commercial. And if you can't, like you're going, oh, well, that toy's getting put over there, and
I mean, I'm sure there were toys like that. Like I don't ever remember an instance of like getting a toy as a kid and being really excited for it, and then thinking like, this is actually not really good. You know what I mean? I never remember that, because as a kid, like I was just happy with, like I was just happy to have wrestlers or happy to have turtles or whatever they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But those I guess it's a play set, isn't it? So when you get in action figures, you just go, they back each other up, and they don't have to do a lot, do they?
No, exactly. So
it's funny how you should. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say actually. But my number 4 is also a shit. So I went. They had a Newcastle collectors fair. G'day, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
And we've got TJC. Hey, buddy.
TJC. Thanks for joining us. They had a toy collector fair on in April up in Newcastle. No one actually joined me for that one, so that was funny. I did meet Dan and Monique there later on, which was really cool. But I remember walking, and that was supposed to start at 9, and I think I rocked up 8:45, and the doors were open. So I think it was like $5 to enter. So I just walked straight into this toy fair, and the very first table I walked to was this guy selling vintage Star Wars stuff, and so he had a complete Slave One, like a vintage Slave One. So and it also came with a Boba Fett. It came with 2 Bespin guards, 2 stormtroopers, a Lobot, and so like. The whole thing was just a brilliant price, because I've been watching these for a few years, and the price was just going up and up, and you're looking at $500, and that's just for this thing alone. Yeah. So when I found it, I just, like you said, like how you kind of I ummed and ahed, but not for very long. You got to make that decision pretty quick.
You do.
And with the way it was priced, I just thought, look, if I wander around and do a once around, I'll come back and this will be gone for sure with what the price and what he was offering. So I've been looking out for quite a few years. Andrew had snaffled one up, lucky enough to snaffle one up in Canberra, like the year before. I think we went down to Canberra, and Andrew's snaffled that up. He beat me to it. I thought he was coming over to give me oh, Matt, Slave One, come and get it over here. But he came he came over to me and said, "Oh, Matt, the Slave One, what the price is this? Is that a good price?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good price." And he's going, "Well, I'm going to get it." I'm like, "Oh, pump everything." So he got that one ahead of me. So yeah, I was actually I'm glad he wasn't with me that day, because he might have snaffled this one up too. He's quick.
Yeah, he's building a fleet.
You can't beat Andrew. we've seen videos where he takes people's knees out. jokingly. But yeah, this was my number 4. Absolutely beautiful piece.
Nice.
It's so I've actually found a nice little display piece down there for it now, so you can just chill out with the rest of the Star Wars figures.
Awesome.
A bit of lovely vintage Star Wars to add to the collection.
Good stuff,
That's number
mate.
4.
Alrighty, let's go back to this view for a moment. Now, before I go to number 3, I just want to go back to Sai because I didn't answer his question. Sai, I can't figure it out. Like the commercial showed on the top deck of the Air Carrier Justice a little button that you push with like a little launcher feature, and I can see where it is on this on the actual Air Carrier Justice, but it looks completely different. And again, in the absence of instructions, I can't work out if it's missing a piece or whatever. So I can, yeah. Anyways, I need
2 versions. There's just only one version,
unless there's a second version. Like it's pretty obscure. Like Ring Raiders is a fairly obscure line, but
sometimes they release one and then they go, that we would just to get it out and maybe into the market, and then they upgrade it a little bit for a second release. I don't know. There's probably not a lot of information out there on Ring Raiders.
It's one of those. Look at Andrew, no remorse.
No, none at all. Love it. He'll take you out. Just get that figure.
A lot of love for the Star Wars, which is awesome to see. So
yeah, Star Wars. It's always good.
Oh, okay, a whole different thing. Okay, I'm not too sure, Si. I'm not too sure what you're referring to there, but that sounds interesting. Alrighty, my number 3 is it's a figure. Like it's not a big piece or anything like that, but it was one of the figures that I was chasing most intently throughout last year. It's a Hasbro wrestling figure, and it's basically the last figure that I needed to complete my second wave 2 of the Hasbros, and it was a figure that I was searching for in 2022. I didn't get it. I was searching for in 2023, and I was resigned to not getting it until Matt gifted it to me for Christmas, and I'm talking about the WWF Hasbro Dusty Rhodes. This had to be in the top 5.
Dusty. I mean, you've been after it for years, so
for sure.
Why it had to be? That's right.
Just a quick side note. Can you hear the rain here through my microphone? Because it's absolutely pouring. Can you hear it or not so bad?
No.
Okay, good. All right, the shotgun mic's doing its job. But yeah, so super, super grateful to this gentleman here next to me, Matt, for hooking it up with the Hasbro Dusty Rhodes. I absolutely love this figure, and yeah, man, I had really 2 opportunities to pick this figure up this year. Early in the year, there was a guy who listed the figure on eBay for like a reasonable price. A reasonable price at the end of the year, but at the start of the year, I still thought it was a touch steep. But the crazy thing was, the location of the listing was really close to my old office. And he sent me his phone number, and I was on the phone to him, and he said, "Well, look, come, if you want to come around, we can do a deal off eBay, and I can make it a bit cheaper for you." Yep. And I said, "All right, well, I offered him a price. He goes, 'Let me have a think, and I'll come back to you.'" And he never ended up coming back to me. So I just kind of missed out on it. The second, so I said I had 2. The second was what Adam's referring to. Adam was sending me the link to the Dusty on eBay. And I was saying to Matt, shouldn't I? The price seems a bit steep. And Matt's like, I reckon you should probably do it at that price. And I ummed and ahed until Matt and Andrew gifted it to me for Christmas. So, yeah.
So that second one is that the one that you're probably looking at and asking me about, and I've snuck under you? And
and I saw that it had sold on eBay, and I was like, oh no, well, there's another year without Dusty. And
we came to the rescue.
On Christmas morning, I was happy as Larry. So that's my number 3.
Excellent.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. It's interesting, Si. I think that Dusty figure does have arm issues because Adam had a Dusty with where he had issues with the arm. I think it's a common issue with the figure. But what's interesting about that Dusty figure is, and there was some, some people in the comments shed some light on my last video, which was awesome. And that is, it's weird for a figure that early in the Hasbro line to be so hard to track down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
when
that's
you
right.
think about
The last
when you
one,
think, yeah, when you think about the Hasbro figures that are the most rare and expensive figures, it's generally the later figures. Dusty's an early figure, and what Adam and someone else in the chat was saying was that because Dusty was on his way out of the WWF in 1991 when that figure came out, they either produced it in shorter quantities or they pulled it one way or the other. But that's why it's so tricky to track down.
Yeah, true. That could be the reason. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you tuning in, James. Hope you're well, mate.
Hey, James. Thank you.
That's all right, Pete. No stress at all, mate. No stress at all. You have a good one, mate. We appreciate you tuning in for a bit and saying g'day.
We're always good to see you, Pete.
Always good to see you.
We'll chat soon, my friend.
For sure. So that's my number 3, Matt. Over to you.
Yep. Okay. Number 3. So
I agree, Jewel.
What did Jewel say? Awesome. Oh.
Oh, thanks, Nate. Appreciate that, mate.
Well done. Yes, thanks, Nate. All right, number 3. Now this is a little bit like an accidental toy line. I really wasn't looking for these. They weren't on the radar, as you say. They weren't on the radar for 2023, and I'd obviously heard of them. They're good vintage toy, and I think our mate Steve Darby Collector had put up a claim sale in, I think it was around July, and they were on there complete. And you know what? I just pulled the pin. I don't know if it was I paid too much or too little, but Steve's got usually really good prices.
Yeah, knowing Steve, you wouldn't have paid too much, I don't think.
And it's these fellas, two complete visionaries. And can someone actually help? I was supposed to look this up today. I think this one's Sindar. So he's still, you can see his hologram there, still working. So this was a very brief toy line, wasn't it, in 86? And I think they made 13 episodes of this TV show. I think I remember watching the first one. I don't know what this one's name is. If someone could help me out, that would be amazing.
Mate, I'm going to be no good there, but
no, I know. Not too many people. Like there's his hologram. There's a bit of a thing going on here with holograms. Isn't
I know
there?
There is.
So Simon will appreciate that. So yeah, I'm not sure what this guy's name is, but the complete, like they got their weapons and they got their stands as well, so we can stick their.
So they come with stands like that.
Yeah. So
that's a really cool pack-in.
The snake motif or something. Is it a lion motif?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and this one's got a unicorn. So they came with their stands as well and their weapons and absolutely. And they're just the condition of these is amazing. Like there's just whoever's had these as a child probably didn't play with them a lot. So thank you for that, whoever you were. But it's just allowed me to pick up these. Oh, that's right. They got the hologram, on the chest. You can barely see that, but yeah. Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, oh man. This is.
There we go.
It's just an accident. Who's got that?
Cryotech.
Thank you very much, Dean. Well, of course, Dino. And I do apologize, Dean, because I think on multiple times you went, can you put them up? Show me, like, give me a picture. And I think I went to put them up on Instagram like twice or 3 times, and I never got the chance. I'm hopeless.
They're beauties.
Social media, but yeah. Anyway, that's my number 3. A couple of visionaries, accidental visionaries, and I love them. They just they found a nice little place in my collection.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Alrighty, my number 2. You knew for me there had to be some Mighty Max.
For sure.
Representation in the top 5, and it's a bit of an unusual one for me because it's a Mighty Max piece that wasn't on my radar to start the year, because when it comes to Mighty Max, my favorite sets that I've been hunting down, most aggressively have been the Doom Zones, and I love those. And Mighty Max is just a wicked toy line. I've done multiple videos just fawning all over, fawning about how incredible it is from a sculpting and engineering perspective. And this is a really good example of that. And this is Mighty Max Blast Magus. Like I said, he wasn't on my radar because I used to think that I was really only into the Doom Zone playsets, not the figures where at like the Battle Warriors and Magus that have all the separate compartments, but just the sculpting, the way this figure's sculpted and painted to look like volcanic rock and lava, and the way it's engineered with all the different compartments that open up and all the little mini figures and spring-loaded features and everything folding back up. This is just an incredible piece. And the fact that I was able to pick this up in the wild again at Second Childhood Toys and Collectibles on a toy hunt where I just so happened to have with me our buddy Lee, who wrote the book The Toys of Mighty Max. That was the reason that I picked it up, because I was going through a tub of Mighty Max parts and it was incomplete shells and mini figures. Everything was floating around. I said, Lee, do you reckon can we put this together? And he's like, mate, we might get this pretty close to complete. And he spent a good chunk of time getting it what I would guess would be maybe like 85% complete. And then afterwards, in the weeks and months that followed between eBay and Lee, I was able to get the last 4 or 5 parts that I needed to complete it. So between the toy itself and the story, the memory of being with Lee and going through this tub and piecing it together, really one of my favorites, number 2 for me. So really happy to have Mighty Max Blast Magus in the collection. And 2023 has been a big year for me for Mighty Max. So, and it's nice when, like with the top 5s, I like to have it be a little bit representative of that year of collecting. So I had to have something Mighty Max, and this is definitely my favorite Mighty Max pickup from the year.
It's a top piece. You love a good story associated with an old vintage toy, don't you, Scotty? I mean, all of us do, but you in particular, it adds to the value of the nostalgia to that toy, doesn't it?
It really does, mate, because when these things sit on your shelf, like it's nice if they have a story to go with them. That's why if something was a gift, it just pushes it up in terms of like how important it is to me, and that's why a lot of the stuff that's on my top 5 are things that were either gifted to me or things that have a fun story involved with them where I picked them up. Like I said, my top 5, there's no eBay pickups, and I picked up some cool stuff through eBay and Facebook this year. Probably more so this year than last year in terms of eBay. But, when it comes to like singling out those favorites, I got to go with stuff that I picked up in the wild and have like the social side of collecting memories and moments that went with them.
Yeah, no, that's good. Very good, Scotty. I know you love a good story. But I remember when we got the pizza thrower, and I think we got that from Europe as well. And you said, look, you were specifically asking, like, does that have a good story, Matt? And I'm like, I'm really sorry, Scott. There's no good story.
Oh, no, listen, it's a good story for me because, again, it was a gift, you know what I mean? And I've got so much nostalgia attached to that piece. And I think that might have been like number 2 or 3 or something like that. It was a top pick last year as well. But cool to see some Mighty Max love in the chat. But dude, man, you know what? That's definitely a compliment, Nate. Like that, my Mighty Max videos make you want to buy Mighty Max because it's funny. Like, when I was with Lee and we were going through this tub of Mighty Max stuff, I literally said to him, "Oh, Lee, the Battle Warriors and the Mighty Max larger figures, they really don't do much for me." And he's like, "Well, check this out." He started like showing how it works and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? That's actually, I need that. That's awesome. And it's always cool when someone, whether it's through a YouTube video or whether it's just through face-to-face interaction, like shines a light on something in a different way and makes you think, you know what, I could do with that for my collection.
Yep, they're true. In respect to pricing for those sets now, are they quite affordable? Like, so for example, if Nate thought, I might pick up a few sets for the collection.
Dude, I wish I could say they are, but the problem is that they're not. Like the Doom Zone sets, so like these types of sets here, 3 figures, a size of your palm playset. Like when I started collecting Mighty Max, like I was getting these for $30 to $40 complete, and now they're pretty comfortably like 60 to 80 complete, if not more. Especially once you get into the later series. These are the earlier ones, and they're still doubled since I started collecting them. So
that's a shame.
It is what it is, mate. I mean, like. It is what it is, dude. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome that some of these 90s lines that for the longest time probably not many people cared about. Like, it's awesome that they're having their moment. but it also kind of sucks for us people that are trying to that are sick enough to try to complete these lines, because it's you got to fork out, or you just got to be patient. You know what I mean? You got to be patient.
Yep. There's probably still good bargains to be found out there if you just hang on.
I think so.
I think I
We
see
got
Phil
Shane.
in there.
Yeah, we got a few people. Sorry, I'm not doing my job here. Shane, hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you and your family had an awesome trip. I saw your YouTube video, like your vlog from your cruise. That looked wicked. So, and it was the same. It was the same ship that I went on. So that was really cool to see. And of course we got Phil. Did I miss Phil?
Yeah, Phil's popped in as well.
There he is. I've got to go back. Sorry, Phil. I didn't mean to leave you in the lurch there, mate. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in and joining us.
It's hard to interrupt Scotty when he gets on a roll.
Listen, you can't shut me up, and I apologise.
You've got passion.
I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. That's for sure.
Love it.
Alrighty, we're up to your number 2, Matt.
Oh, that's what I forgot. Okay, anyway, I was too busy listening to you, and I've just kind of spoke out as well. Like, that's right. I'm here not just to. Okay, all right. Number 3, 2. This is number 2. Is always good to. I think we've discussed this, Scotty. You don't. It's a little bit of sadness when you complete a toy line, isn't it? Like,
very, very true. Bittersweet.
You don't really want to complete a toy line. So I am plodding really slowly with my vintage Masters of the Universe, and towards the I think I've jumped the gun actually. Oh, who cares? Whatever. I found this, and this is an eBay purchase, but it's from our good mate Carl from Retro Cartel.
Retro Cartel.
I couldn't believe it actually. It's a Hurricane Hordak. And
nice.
He's got some awesome like gold going. There we are. Look at him, like he's so shiny, and I can't. It's such like he's got his little spinner on the back there, and he works perfectly. So he's got a couple of attachments. So he's got that attachment, and he's got these 2 attachments. So he was complete. I don't know why Carl. He must have got this after the toy fair, because if I'd known that he had this at Collecticon, I would have picked it up for sure. But this was a bit of a late in the year find, and because I'm always on the search for a new Master Universe piece, I don't have too many left. They're sort of starting to get into the upper end now, and just like these, so there's 3 versions of Hordak. I've already got one, just the regular one, and there was 2 to get. So this is one that I needed, and I'm really happy with this guy. He's really nice and goldy and sparkly. It's like there's renditions on eBay, and I've seen them, and like you can't probably see it all too well, but he's got like no scratches on his face or on his forehead up here. It's just
but vac metal is one of those things that it's very hard to assess condition from photos.
Yes, it is.
A figure that I haven't showed yet, but it'll be in my next Turtles pickups video. Like I picked up a Chrome Dome at the end of last year, and that's like a vac metal Turtles figure, and it's like you look at photos on eBay. I looked at photos on eBay and thought it looks pretty good, but I was still holding my breath when I opened it when it arrived, and thankfully I was happy with it because of the reflectiveness of it. You can't tell whether it's chipped or scratched. It's really hard.
Yeah, that's right.
The vac metal rules, and there's a lot of love for vac metal in the chat.
He flies off. It's like the Mary Poppins version. There he goes. Spins around and off he goes.
Let me make you big again. Can you do that propeller function again?
Well, he's like Mary Poppins. He just goes like that, and off he goes, floats off into the.
That's sick.
That's excellent. It's not really a helicopter. I just made that up. But
it's pretty cool.
Oh, can I just show you this as well? This was another Motu. These are chucked in together. So I've always had just the regular. So there's this guy, Too Bad.
Yeah.
And now I didn't realize that there's I've got the Pixel Dan book, and it's just opened up my eyes so much. So
variant.
That's his back, and I didn't. So it's a variant. So I've picked up this guy through the year. He's a flat back. So this is the one I've picked up. His back is just completely flat, and this is the one I had, and it's just the round back. So it was a really good. I couldn't believe it when I found this guy. He was just, so that's their back. So you can see the one I had. It's like everything's 3D and it's protruding out. And the one I got, it's all just flat.
Is one rarer than the other? Did one come later than the other? Do you know the story?
I don't know the story. I should see that Scott Crusher would know the story.
Oh no, I'm just curious.
No, I think it's. I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up on why. But there's just two different versions of Too Bad. Someone's going to come in and tell me the reason why.
Like, it's a bit of a tangent, but like, because I was chatting with Adam. Adam, who's here in the chat with us.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about variants because we both collect Turtles and Toxic Crusaders, and there's a lot of variants in those lines. And, you know, with you collecting Motu and being very close to the finish line and not quite wanting to get there because then the fun's over, like, can you see yourself trying to hunt down variants when you finish the main line, or are you more just like, oh well, I don't really care about the variants, I'll just keep one and move another on, or what's your attitude or approach towards them?
I think I've already started. I think just with this book from Pixel Dan, it describes some of these variants, and I've already started. So I've already started looking at a couple of the Skeletor ones, like the half boot, the peach cheeks. There's also with Clawful, he had Skeletor feet, and then he just had regular round feet. And I've picked that up. So I've already started, I think, on that little journey of collecting a few variants. With Grislaw, he's got a light tan face and a dark brown face, and they've already...
Isn't there a black face Grislaw?
Well, he's a very dark brown, almost.
Oh,
black.
is he? Okay.
Yeah.
But he's a rare one, isn't he? Isn't the darker face one really trickier to find?
Yeah, he's quite a lot of people know about him. So, but I had heard about the flat back Too Bad, but I'd never seen him, and I thought I was dreaming because I got this just for an amazing price, and I just thought, I don't know if this person knew what they had. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Maybe I've taken advantage of him, but
no, come on, mate. If someone's
selling it for $20,
if someone's selling something, you know,
here's your $20 because I'm not going to try and chip you down because I know it's probably worth double at least. Peach cheeks. Bedroom talk, I think. Yeah.
All righty. Well, that brings it to my number one. So my number one's something that I picked up quite early in the year.
Yep.
But I just love it. You know what I mean? I absolutely love it. It was hot. It was, spoiler alert, it was number one on my wish list last year. So it was always going to be hard to beat. And that's the TMNT Mega Mutants Killer Bee. I love this thing, man. Sculpt, colors, stickers, translucent wings, the theming of the character with like the escaped convict Killer Bee with the electric chair saddle and everything. I like the unique role that it plays in the vintage TMNT line because, you know, in Motu, like you have Battle Cat and Panther and other beasts that can be, or, you know, vehicles and steeds and stuff like that can be ridden by the figures. TMNT doesn't really have that aside from the Mega Mutants, which is Killer Bee and Needlenose. So man, when I picked this up, and again, like it was another one that I missed out on a couple times. One popped up on eBay on auction, I missed out. Our mate Owen was selling one on Facebook, and I missed out, and I was like spewing for about 5 minutes until I realized who picked it up, and that was our friends Dan and Monique. So yeah, when I saw it for the third, when I had my third opportunity at Collecticon, I didn't even hesitate. I was just like, man, I didn't even take a minute to think, oh, is the condition right? I was just like, yeah, gimme. And I'm really happy I did because the condition's beautiful, man. A little bit of sticker repair can be done, but it's a super, super minor issue. Colors are all really nice. Condition's great, 100% complete. And this guy comes with a lot of accessories that are really tricky to track down on their own. It's the kind of thing that if you're going to pick it up, you're probably just best to pick it up complete because it came with little translucent handcuffs that are very breaky and other smaller parts like that you don't really see on their own. So this is a bit of a no-brainer for me for number one. And also, like, I'm a big Turtles guy, so I needed some Turtles representation in the top 5 as well. So
you did.
So yeah, really, and again, like another piece that I picked up out in the wild, which again always just to me is just so much more fun. So that's my number one.
Yeehaw. Welcome, Yeehaw.
G'day, Yeehaw. Hope you're doing well, mate. I'm just now catching up on the chat. Yeah, there's some variant talk, and VTR Dave suggesting maybe starting on She-Ra. What are your thoughts on that, mate?
I can't do it. See, there's no nostalgia with me and She-Ra. It was the girl version of He-Man. I'm just like, it didn't really. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. Sorry.
Maybe it would like so. You've got so you so obviously there were you and your two brothers as kids. Maybe if like you had if you know there was a sister there who was into the She-Ra, it might be a different story. Hey,
for sure. I think if we had a sister and she was into the She-Ra, I would be definitely 100% be picking up the She-Ra stuff for sure. But, no, we're all dudes playing with He-Man.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
It's excellent. It's just, I knew you'd get that one too eventually, Scotty.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm nothing if not patient, but I wasn't gonna miss out a third time. So and look, it's a piece that Dean knew where I was going with my top five. Dean knows how much I appreciate the Mega Mutants, and as does Dean because he picked up a needle nose this year. So which is cool because now like we've got two different Mega Mutants, one each. So now we're not chasing the same, we're chasing the opposite ones in 2024. So.
Yeah, that's right. You can help
and it's interesting. Like Sai's saying, he knows nothing about them. They came out in 1990, so yeah, that's a good question. So Mega Mutants came out in 1990, so they're third wave, but still very much at the peak of TMNT. Like what I think about TMNT really peaking in 1990 because that's when the live action film was out. The figures had been out for a couple of years by that point. The animated series had been out for a couple of years at that point, but it hadn't really started, on the down. So the line was very much at its peak, I think. And I think Killer Bee's a really good example of that, just in terms of Playmates and Varna Studios or whoever sculpted this, just really being at the top of their game with all the little gross out features. And I absolutely love it. But it's interesting because I don't know about Dean, but I don't remember the Mega Mutants as a kid. I don't remember seeing them and thinking, "Oh, I want those." I remember them more. I remember the blimp and the party wagon and the figures from the first couple of waves, but I don't remember seeing them in toy store shelves. Those Mega Mutants, I mean. So,
you think they would have hit Australian shores though?
You'd think so. Yeah, I would have thought so.
I mean, it's only series 3. As you said, height of popularity. They must have hit Australian shores.
I would have thought so.
I would have thought so. You just not. We're very heavily influenced by like TV commercials, so maybe we just
But the interesting thing, like I didn't go to toy stores a lot as a kid. Like, our local shopping center had Uncle Pete's Toys, which was like which was not like a Toys R Us or anything. It was like just a medium-sized toy store. And I don't have tons of childhood memories of going to a toy store because I think when I was a kid and we went to the shops, we'd go to like the local village shops, which just had the supermarket. And, we didn't go to the mall. We didn't go to the big shopping center quite a lot as a kid. So I don't have a ton of toy store memories. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Yeah, they didn't have big malls, did they, as such? Well, not when I was a little kid. They had you have a shopping center and you may be lucky enough to have a bi-level shopping center with a few additional shops and a toy shop in there.
Yeah.
But, they're not malls. Malls are quite popular these days.
For sure. I mean, it's more so like my teenage years when I had a bit more autonomy, like when I was 14 and 15 and I was cool to like get on a bus and go do my own thing. I've got more not toy store memories then, but like mall memories, shopping center memories, going to a cinema, going to Time Zone, doing that kind of stuff. But I don't really have it's 1992 and I'm 8 years old in a toy store. I don't have a lot of toy store memories. You know what I mean?
Me either, Scotty. I do remember a couple, but not. Yeah.
See, for me, and again, I'm going on a tangent here, but for me, toys were only a birthday and Christmas thing. Like we didn't so if I was good when I was with my mum doing the shops, like going to the shops and I would behave myself and she'd rent me a movie or she'd buy me a WWF magazine from the news agency. But I wasn't just getting a toy just because I thought you might like this or whatever. It didn't work like that. So, and for that reason, I think why would she want me in a toy store? Because all I'm going to do is to be like, can I have this? No. Can I have this? No. So I think it was like an active thing. Like, we don't really want you in the toy store for the heck of it. It was only like if I was going to a birthday party and my mum had to buy a present for me to take to the birthday party or something. You know what I mean?
That's right. The only other
Anyway.
time, apart from the only time I remember being taken to a toy store between Christmas and birthdays, we went to a toy store. It was more like a seconds outlet for toys. It was like a warehouse, and we went in there and they had Star Wars figures. Obviously on the outer, so it was the last 17. And I remember raking through the last 17 bin, and they were like $1.50 each. And mum and dad like, oh, you can have one of those each, like. And I picked like the lamest one. I don't know. There wasn't. It was Anakin Skywalker, who was like, and they had the coins, of course. He's got no accessories, and he's just the lame. And I can't remember what my brothers got, but it was just. I remember that's really the only time that we did that.
Yeah. I'm just catching up here. VTR Dave. Yes, out in the outback. Out in the wilderness.
Is that a made-up term from Australia? In the wild?
Yeah, it's amazing what you can find here out in the wilderness, out in the outback.
You've got to go digging. We're like archaeologists. We go digging and we find a toy. We hop on our kangaroos and.
I'm so far behind. I mean, there's still variance talk. Yeah, hang on.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Well, it's like Shabby on Saturday morning, wasn't it? He was like 40 minutes behind. And people are just making fun
to be honest, like the VTR, like the ZSR streams, like, I mean, it's hard to keep up, even just when you're in the chatting to people and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had to. Yeah, I think I remember Scott picking that up through the year, and I thought, if that doesn't get his number one, it'll blow my mind.
Yeah, look, there was probably no surprises there, but yeah, Si's right. Like, so many toy lines. I mean, it's no wonder, and Dean doesn't remember them as well. Like, and it's interesting. Like, when as I got into a toy line, it was kind of all I was into, and in 1990 was my little Ring Raiders year or 6 months. So maybe I stopped paying attention just for a minute to the Turtles at that time, but.
And you're right, Scotty. Like, it's not like when we were kids, we seen toys and we were in it for like the whole 5 years. You go, look, there's He-Man figures. I found them in '83, and I probably liked them for, a birthday and a Christmas or two.
That's it. That's it. And if you're a kid like us, where you weren't getting toys just for the heck of it, it was birthday and Christmas, which each came once a year. Unless you were into a toy line, even if you're into a toy line for 2 years, you still weren't getting that many. You're getting 4 opportunities. You know what I mean? So
correct. Yeah. I thank God I had brothers. They were liking the same things I was. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
Bucks of toys. Yeah.
Shane, when I think World for Kids, I think those shopping spree competitions on breakfast TV. Do you remember them? Do you remember them, Matt?
No,
they would have a kid, and they did them in the States too with Toys R Us. They would have a competition, and the kid that won would be in World for Kids, and he would have and often it was like they give you a trolley, and you've got 60 seconds, and whatever you put in your trolley in 60 seconds, and I would watch it on breakfast TV or whatever, or morning cartoon shows, and see these kids like trying to find the one thing they're looking for, and it's like, dude, just grab it all, you know what I mean?
You'd see it. Go and get that Masters of the Universe. Go get it. Oh, you idiot! You went past and got some Barbie. What's wrong with you?
and that's a good point from Yeehaw as well. Is like, it wasn't just the toy stores, like the Kmart's. If you look at Kmart catalogs from the 90s, they had a lot of toys. So it wasn't just the toy stores that had the toys.
Wow. I remember that Venture. I can't believe you just said that word. That's something from the past, Venture.
Alrighty, let's go to your number one. We're right off topic here, but that's okay.
That's all right. Well, number one, I think that's why I've got confused. My number one would have been Hordak, and anyway. Sometimes I do think some people think that. So it would have been the Masters stuff. That would have been my number one. This would have been my number two, but whatever. It's still really good. This came out. I didn't know that these were coming out actually, and so when they came out, I think about August, September, I picked them up from the Big Bad Toy Store, and it's a Masters of the Universe Skeleton Warriors.
Oh, awesome.
So the good thing about these is they glow in the dark. They're skeletons and they glow in the dark. I'll take them out. I've taken them out already. So they're amazing. The artwork. So these were teased. That's the artwork on the back. These were teased probably about 12 months before they had released an Attorney and Palace Guard, and the Palace Guards were fighting like these, and everyone's like wondering, oh my god, are we going to get like something like Skeleton Warriors in the line? And sure enough, about 12 months later, they brought out this 2-pack, and I love it. And so like the Origins line that they're from, a lot of them you can take their parts off and interchangeable with other parts. So that's him. I'm going to pull them out later, but yeah, they're awesome. So I can't do the whole glow in the dark effect here, but yeah, there's so many accessories there as well
They're really cool.
They are very cool, and they came with like its own little comic as well. So,
and they actually call them Skeleton Warriors.
Yeah, they do.
I thought that term might be like coined. You know what I mean, from the actual toy line. I thought it might,
Yeah, Evil Army of Skeletor. So there you go. This year. So I was really happy to get those. I think I was so happy I gave Andrew some as well. So it's a lovely artwork. Yeah, just the artwork.
Is there any way you can hit the lights so we can see them?
Oh,
or it's just not going to happen?
They've been out for about. Let's give it a go. Okay.
All right.
Excuse everything here, guys. We'll do that, and we're going in the dark here.
Oh no! The light from your screen's gonna.
Oh, it is. Like you'd have to.
Yeah.
You can't really.
No, it's probably going to be too.
I can see them glowing in the dark back there, but you guys can't see it on camera.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not picking it up. But we tried. They're awesome figures, though.
There you go.
Adam's asking if we can get a review of them, a review video or something, because he's been on the fence.
Adam. Okay.
Well, look, Adam, they're Matt's number one pickup of 2023, so I think they got his vote of approval.
Yeah, like when you start playing with them and pull them apart, and you can change. You put He-Man's head on the skeleton body. It's a little bit oversized, but that would make sense because it's a skeleton. They look excellent. Look, I could. I've got to feel some love for some videos. I'm not feeling the love at the moment, so there you go. That's my number one.
Okay, good stuff.
That's excellent. I love it.
Awesome.
Although it's my number two.
So, guys, feel free to tell us your favourite things that you picked up this year. I mean, I love how active you guys all are in the chat in terms of feedback to the stuff we're showing. But if there's anything in particular that stand out as your favourite pickups for the year, feel free to throw them in and let us know. But how are we going? We're at over an hour, so we should probably just blast through the wish list. Should we just crack on with that?
Yeah. We'll go into the wish list. We'll look back.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. All right. So,
well,
my wish list.
Before you do your 2024 wish list, do you want to just quickly show us your 2023 wish list, just so we can see how you did?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to show you. But
cool.
at my number 5, I was looking at some vintage Motu stuff, and I showed Bionatops, like a couple of those dinosaurs, and one of them was Hurricane Hordak. So that's a tick. Ding. Got that. Go. Number 4 was Lionheart, the Supernatural's Lionheart, which I got like 6 weeks later. So ding, there's another one I got. Number 3, and this was supposed to come out the first quarter of 2023. It was like the boss fight Fraggle Rock Doozer, and it got delayed and finally came out in the last quarter of 2023. And I picked it up, and look, it didn't make the list. It's just, I got it. It's like 3 inches. It's just, like, I don't know. I didn't feel the love with it. So I was a bit disappointed. I did get it, but I was disappointed in that. So anyway, whatever. I got
Fair
a
enough.
tick. Number 2, was my complete some Mantech characters. I probably should have bought some Mantech in, and I did. I did complete like I think 2 or 3. There's I think 6 in the line. I probably completed 3 of those now. So I did continue, and I am continuing to complete those. So tick. And the last one, the big thing I wanted, it was due out September in the States. It did come out in the States, and I just can't find it here. I saved up money, and I've missed out on it, apparently. So it's the Motu Origin Snake Mountain that...
that was your number 1, wasn't it?
That was my number 1, and I think I assumed I've made a wrong call. I could have pre-ordered on Pop Culture, but I thought they would get a few extra in, and so apparently I've contacted them in January of this month, and I've gone, when's that coming in? Because it's off their site, and they said, oh yeah, it came in and it's gone same day. So I missed out. So I'm going to have to try and source that at some other point somewhere. So that's the only one really that I didn't do well.
That's all right though. 4 or 5.
Yeah. I was pretty happy with that. It was quite easily to be achieved. Actually, there's very affordable items,
and that's the way that we're going with our wish list. It's not a grails list. It's like what are the gaps in our collection that we're really actively trying to fill. So I'll do mine, and I'll basically just show you the slides that I showed you this time last year. So let me bring that up. Can you see that or no?
Yeah.
So you can see the Mighty Max slide?
Yeah. Doom Dragon.
Can you see me as well or no?
Yeah, I can see us at the side as well.
Yep. Okay, because I can't see it. But I'll just quickly. So, number 5 last year, like my wish list for number 5 for 2023 was these 2 Doom Zones in the Mighty Max line. I don't know if you can see them because I'm little, but I managed to get the 2 Mighty Max Doom Zones. Number 4 was the last 2 Toxic Crusaders figures that I needed to complete the Toxic Crusaders figure line. And again, we got the 2 Toxic Crusaders figures. We got Major Disaster and Bonehead, so I got both of those. So now the Toxic Crusaders figure line is complete. I need vehicles, but I'm still pretty stoked to have all the Toxic Crusaders figures complete in the collection, which is mad. Number 3 was Ghostbusters Slimed Heroes. And literally... if we're talking Australian toy fairs that I went to and Australian eBay or Facebook listings, I literally had one shot on these. 1 or 2 figures popped up on a Toytacular Facebook auction.
Yeah.
And our friend Ryan, the collector kid, had put a bid on both of them. And I got this thing where if I see someone I know or someone I'm mates with or whatever bidding on something, I'm not going to bid against them. So I just let him have those. So I had one shot to get those. Unfortunately, I couldn't get these. I still really want them. These are my top priority as far as real Ghostbusters go. I did pick up some cool real Ghostbusters stuff for the collection last year, but unfortunately no Slimed Heroes. Number 2 was Dusty. I thought I was going to go a year without getting Dusty. Thankfully, Matt helped me with that one. Matt and Andy helped me with that one. And last of all, we've got the Mega Mutants. I was on the hunt for 1 or 2. And obviously, as you guys saw, I got my Killer Bee.
Well, we couldn't have you singing that song. It was a year without a Dusty. The worst we'd ever. Sorry.
No.
I forget where I am sometimes. So we couldn't have you singing that song.
I would have been. I would have been if not for you guys. So I appreciate you guys for sure.
Well, that was
alrighty.
That was our 23. I'm wondering, it'll be interesting to see your 2024 list because I'm wondering if some things that you didn't get, i.e. the Slimed Heroes, are going to make it on there.
Possibly.
Are we going back and forth with the 2024? We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I've lost my slides. How do I get them back on?
The slides that you just were showing.
Yeah, see how I've got you. See how we've got your slides down there, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Let me close it and reopen it. Let me shut that.
While you do that, I'm just going to go and grab a quick drink. Is that okay? Like,
yeah, of course. What I'm going to do is we've missed a lot of stuff in the chat because everyone's been telling us their favorite stuff they picked up this year. So
okay,
I want to go back and
keep the party going, and I'll be back in a minute just to get some water.
Okay, no worries at all. No worries at all. So, yeah, it looks like you guys picked up some awesome stuff this year, which is wicked. Scott, Bullet Man Con exclusive, Jet Sonic the Hedgehog, and some Fortnite stuff. That's awesome. My buddy Adam picked up the vintage TMNT Super Shredder, and if I remember correctly, that's the one that you got from me, which is awesome, man. So I'm stoked that makes one of your favorite pickups of 2023. We've got Dan with the Proton Pack. I'm assuming that's the HasLab. That's definitely a wicked piece to add to the collection. Shane, custom built lightsaber from Disneyland. Yeah, that must have been a blast, man. And that's not only a really cool piece that displays great for your collection, but it's also got the memory of the trip to go with it, which is just wicked. For VTR Dave, we've got the Karate Kid playsets, which I love. I saw your video sharing those when you picked them up from the toy fair. They are so cool, man. I love that Remco. It's Remco, isn't it? Karate Kid line.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's beautiful sets. God.
We've got Phil picked up some carded Motu, which I mean that's obviously got to rank highly. Yeehaw with a mint on card Space Cadet Raph TMNT figure, which is actually I think a good one to pick up mint on card because you've got the transparent like space helmet, which are always not always, but often if you get them loose, they're not in the greatest of conditions. Nate picked up a 60s Horikawa tin robot.
Oh yeah,
that's
one.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one. That was one of your first videos, wasn't it?
Is that one of his? Yeah, was that a restoration he did?
I think so. Yeah, it was one of his first videos he did.
So I picked up the green card Yoko. That's a find.
Yes.
Any green card Hasbro wrestling figure is a beauty.
Wow.
And then we've got some of Adam's other stuff. So we got the complete Hasbro Macho King Randy Savage, the NECA giant Michelangelo from the first movie. So the 1/6 scale, that's awesome. Vintage Toka and vintage Toxic Crusaders Junkyard. That's awesome. Oh. Needle Nose, obviously for Dino, which is again no surprise to me. That's awesome. And some of those carded figures that Phil was talking about were the Web Store and the He-Man, which is cool. Yep. So, yeah, man, definitely some awesome stuff. Yeah.
Question to Phil: is he interested in the Origins Webster? Because I've noticed they've re-released as a fan favorite the Origins Master Universe Origins Webster. Wonder if you're interested in that. Phil.
So Scott here is mucking around talking about like, are there knockoff Ghostbusters because they were the real Ghostbusters, and obviously we know that the real Ghostbusters are the real Ghostbusters because the Filmation had the rights to use Ghostbusters for animation and for toys. But have you seen the knockoff Sun Gold Spook Chasers, the knockoff Ghostbuster figures?
Are they knockoff of the Filmation or knockoff of the real?
Nah, they're knockoff of the real Ghostbusters.
Oh no,
they're called Spook Chasers, and they look mad. That's definitely. Listen, I've got a lot of love for knockoffs, whether it's wrestlers or whether it's monster figures, and the knockoff Spook Chasers is definitely something that's on my list for sure. And we just got some wish list stuff for Adam here. Some Hasbro Hulk Hogan from Series 4, Movie Stars Donnie, Toxic Crusaders Bonehead, and Midshipman Mike, and the Origin Snake Mountain as well, which is something we've discussed.
Yeah.
We've got Street Collects tuning in. Hey, brother, hope you're doing well. And I'm almost caught up. So Insane in the Toy Brain. So we've got Dan just saying he wants the Swap Cats and the Mega Mutants. These are some of his favorite pickups. Yeah, because he got both the Mega Mutants and the Swap Cats, which are awesome.
Wow.
Alrighty. Let me open up my slides again and just see if I can share my screen. I don't know what's going on here. So
okay, Phil. Cool.
Share screen.
Hey Adam, if you find out where to find the Motu Origin Snake Mountain, let me know. There's I think I've tracked them down. There's a place called online Inbox Toys in Western Australia. I think they may have them, Adam. Anyway, yeah, it's hard to track down a snake mountain in Australia.
Alrighty. Do you want to start off, or do you want me to start off?
All right. You start off, because I think I started off this last year as well.
So again, like my approach for the top 5 wish list, again, I do have like a grail pick, which grails are always fun to talk about. But my wish list is very much like just the focus items that I'm looking to fill gaps in my collection, and they're attainable. Like I would like to try and go, 3 from 5, 4 from 5, 5 from 5. So they're attainable things. They're just the highest priorities that I'm looking to pick up this year. And the first of those is so obviously this was my number 1 last year, but the way I've done this is I just look at like the top priorities for each of the major toy lines that I collect. Now, I finished Toxic Crusaders last year, so I had to sub in a different line. And the different line this year that I'm chasing is obviously is Superpowers.
Oh.
So
wow, okay.
So obviously Superpowers is that a bit of an unexpected pick?
It is. To me, your focus on Superpowers just hasn't been there, which is fine. I've just noticed it's not easy.
You're 100% right. So in 2022, I started collecting Superpowers. Yeah. And I got Batman and Robin and the Batmobile, and I got some other figures. But last year, Superpowers just took a back seat for me. But I want to fix that in 2024. And if I'm going to chase one figure, I mean, I need the prototype, typical, the archetype of a superhero, Superman. So not necessarily my favorite superhero, but this is just a classic figure. It's one that you just need in your collection. So I need to get a nice, clean Superman for the collection. That's what I'm going to be chasing as far as Superpowers go. That's my number 5 for 2024.
Okay, good one. Nice surprise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you control mine, because if you bring
I'll pop it back up. On the screen. This is your number 5?
Number 5 is some Inhumanoids. So I have been. So we're not all of them. So let's see the bottom 3 down there. There's the ones that look like stumps with green eyes.
Yep.
Those ones under the humans. So that's Red Land, Red Sun, and Red Wood. I've been after those 3, and then the ones next to them are Granok and Granite. That's those 2, and then one right at the end. There's the 3 big fellas, which decompose. They're not on the radar. They're just too big.
They're wicked figures, though. I love those.
Yeah, I think they would have to make it on a grail list. I think those ones. True. But that one on the end is Magna Core. So one of those 6 figures, I've been probably for 2 or 3 years now, just trying to locate some Inhumanoids. All I found at a collector con was that green one, Herc Armstrong, the green one in the middle, and that's all I found. And he was incomplete to the hilt. There's just nothing of him. But I'd like to get some of these monsters into the collection. I have been.
So what do you have now as far as Inhumanoids go?
Just that green Herc Armstrong. See, so the humans, they're the 3rd one across, the green armor.
That's the only one you've got.
That's the only one I got, and I just keep missing out, because people still love these this line, and so hard to win an auction, or even if I just watch it for a few days, like I buy it for now, they're gone in a few days. So I just keep missing out.
Is this the kind of thing that you think you might have to get from overseas, like a US eBay deal, or?
Yeah, 100%. I do search Australian eBay, but I've pretty much given up. They're just too hard to find in Australia. They're so rare.
Yeah, like it's not like you go to CollectorCon and you see Tendril or Decompose there at a stall. Yeah, you're not going to see it. I mean,
all my 20 odd years that we've been going to collector cons and toy fairs, I've never seen one of those 3 big fellas at a collector con. I'm not saying they've never been there, but I've never seen one. So it's a lot of years not to see some. So I'm just going for some of these little monsters at the bottom.
Nice.
Try to get some of those. They're more attainable. Decent pricing too. Like to get one out to Australia, you're looking in anywhere from 50 to 100, I guess. And that's to me, that's a reasonable price for a vintage
that's
toy.
doable for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, number 4 for me is basically my Mighty Max priorities for 2024. So in 2023, I basically finished all of the like relatively inexpensive sets. So now I basically have only 3 Doom Zones left. Nautilus, I don't have pictured here because that's generally the hardest and most expensive one to get. These two, I feel like, are probably the second hardest and most expensive sets to get. And we were talking a little bit earlier about the price of Mighty Max sets, about how these types of Doom Zones, these are Series 1 Doom Zones. When I first started collecting Mighty Max, I was paying $25 to $40, and now they seem to be going for $60, $70, $80, $90. Both of these sets here, Traps Ratus and Mighty Max Bite Cyber Skull, these are like $200 plus sets, unfortunately. So I've got 2 shown here, but if I got, bless you, Matt, if I got one of them in 2024, I would be really happy. Like if I could just get one of those 2, that would be job done for me. I'm not expecting to get both of them, not by any stretch. So if I can get one of those, that'll be good because that'll mean I've only got 2 Doom Zones left. So we're getting to the pointy end. Obviously, I've still got a lot of the smaller sets. Like there's Horror Heads and Shrunken Heads and Dread Heads that I don't have. I don't have the big Dragon Island and Skull Mountain because space is a challenge for me. So I find it easier to display these smaller sets. So yeah, these are the priorities as far as Mighty Max goes. Mighty Max Traps Ratus and Mighty Max Bites Cyber Skull. And yeah, Cyber Skull's sick. For whatever reason, like they even like the logo on the front of it's black instead of red, which is on every other set, and it's definitely a unique one. Is Cyber Skull for sure.
I might have missed it while I was sneezing, but like, are they at the end of the line? Is that why they're so?
Yeah, so they're basically from the final wave of Doom Zones, and they are really cool sets. But yeah, they're hard to find and they're expensive. I picked up this year. I picked up one Series 3 set, which is the Lashes Lizard again. I think I got that at Collecticon for like $120 or something like that. So just expensive. These are the next level again. Like I said, these are probably going to cost me a couple of $100 a piece, but we'll see. Hopefully not. I'll try to spot a good deal on these at a toy fair or whatever. But we'll see. But that's what I'm chasing. That's my number 4.
These are the green cards of the Mighty Max sets.
Correct.
My number 4 I've got in a book, so we don't have to worry about the slide this time.
That's okay.
My number 4 is going to probably be I'm gonna go for Buzzsaw Hordak, a vintage Motu figure. There it is, right there. I'm trying to tilt the book so people can see that. That's going to be Buzzsaw Hordak. So he came with his chest opened up and out came this this.
That's cool.
Blade thing, yeah, that's in there. A blaster blade. Okay, so that came out of his chest. So towards the end of the line, I'd say probably the second last series. So that's what I'm going to hunt for. Buzzsaw Hordak, and that would complete the Hordaks for me. And I think but once again, the top end we're looking at probably anywhere from 150 to 200 Australian to get him into the collection. So you never can tell. But I think it is affordable. It's something that I could probably get in the collection for this year. So
very nice.
Chuck him on there. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's my number 4.
Alrighty. So my number 3 then is basically the next figures. Now that I got Dusty, basically the next figures that I'm chasing for the Hasbro line, and it's the Series 3 figures that I need. So in 2022, I completed Series 1, and I did a review video on the channel. And in 2023, I completed Series 2 with the Dusty, again with big thanks to Matt and Andrew. But for this year, I'm chasing the Series 3 figures I need, and there's 3 figures. You've got the second version of the Big Boss Man. You've got the third version of Hulk Hogan. And in my opinion, these figures are major improvements on the earlier versions of these characters. Like that Boss Man, I think, is a better figure than the Series 1 Boss Man. And that Hulkster is probably the best Hulkster figure we got in the Hasbro WWF line. Then you have a puzzling one, which is this Randy Savage figure. And this Randy Savage is essentially a re-release of the Macho King Randy Savage, but all they do is they don't pack in the crown and scepter, and they just back of the trunk say Macho Man instead of Macho King. And initially, I wasn't even going to pick it up because I'm just like, that's ridiculous to pick up the exact same figure just with Macho Man instead of Macho King on the back of the trunks. Like, it's the same figure, but you know, who am I kidding? I need it. You know what I mean? Collecting is about collecting. It's not just, you know. So, and I'm incapable. I'm not the kind of collector that's just cool to get the characters or the figures they like. I've got to try and complete it. So yeah, this year I'm going to be trying to track down these 3 figures for the Hasbros. This is my number 3.
So his knee pads there are gold, and his shoelace, I noticed. Have they repainted that from the Macho King, do you think, or that's the?
I think. Well, hang on. Let me grab my Macho King. Excuse my pajama shorts just for a moment.
Well, at least he got shorts on. That's a bonus.
That's a start. Yeah. I'm under pressure now. I can't find it. Where is it?
Oh, really? Okay. Well, you don't have to get it.
Oh, no, here we go. Yeah, I should have come prepared. So.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so here is the let me go back to this actually. So this is Macho King, right?
Yeah.
So you got purple trunks, gold knee pads, white boots with gold laces, and the arse says Macho King. It's literally this exact same figure. They take away the 2 accessories and they give you that same figure again, just with different writing on the trunks. That's why I was always thinking to myself, like, what am I going to, you know, why am I bothering? Because the thing is, let me pop that down for a second. Like, what am I going to do, Matt? Display him like this? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Because initially, and I agree with with Adam here. Like, it's a pretty lame repaint, and yeah, I'm assuming this is in reference to my PJ short. Sorry about that, Scotty. But like, and Adam, you're right. Like, who am I kidding? Of course I need it. Of course I need it. But like, because initially I'm thinking, like, what do I do? Just display 2 of the same figure next to one another, just one with accessories and one without. But I honestly think I would display it like from the back just to show that it's a different figure. But
yeah.
So, anyways,
here's a question for I know there's a couple of Hasbro collectors out there. Tatanka. Now I know they released the one in series, was it 4 or something, and then they re-released it exactly the same figure in series 9. Was it? I think, or 8. You're not going to get both, right?
No, look,
there's no difference, is there?
I'd be interested to see what Cy and Adam say, who also are going for complete Hasbro collections. I'm not going to. Because if the figure's identical, what are we doing? Just getting 2 of the same figure just for the sake of it?
How do you tell? How do you tell that one was released on that packaging and this one was released on the other packaging?
I suppose we have a look at the Hasbook and we see if they in the Hasbook they specify any differences, you know?
Yeah, true. Exactly. So what are we up to? Number...
Your number 3. Is it your number 3?
So I've got slides for number 3. Here we have.
All right, here we go.
I snuck up. I'm sorry, Scotty, but
that's all right.
I'm going for the Slimed Heroes. Ooh. I need to get... I've been hunting these for years. So I've almost pulled the pin on a few occasions, or I've missed out. I've just watched them for too long. So it's Fearsome Plush. Oh God, Male Fraud. His name. Yep. Or of course, there's Lewis Tully. I need a Lewis Tully. He did eventually became a Ghostbuster in number 2 there at the end, and well, I guess. And so it just, it'd be good to get one of these or all of these into the collection. I should probably just pace myself and get maybe 1 or 2 and then have more to get. But I don't want a complete collection of real Ghostbusters. I think I love, like yourself, love the monsters. And so I've got those over the years. I've got the Haunted Humans. So he's the last Haunted Human that I needed. So I needed him. And Fearsome Flush, I think he was just part of the Ghostbusters line, the main line. So just one of those ghosts to have. So he's always intrigued me. So I thought I'd have to get him. There's just some, I guess as a collector, you just pick a few things that you like in your collection and the rest can just go by the wayside. But I always felt that this Lewis Tully with his wand and the backpack was the best one to have, because I know there's the purple one. So I've been looking overseas for the Slimed Heroes Lewis Tully. I think that's the only place you can really get a decent version. So I have seen it out here, but it's scratched up and it's not good. So
I feel like Fearsome Flush. Yeah. I feel like Fearsome Flush and Mail Fraud should be relatively easy to find.
I think so, and for decent prices. I should be able to get those for like under 100. Like, you know, there's no real accessories. Some things may be broken or the actions might not work, but I feel I can get them between the 50 and 100 mark. Lewis Tully, I'm not really. I don't want him on card. I don't even need him complete, to tell you the truth. Just with the wand and the backpack, I would be happy just with that and the figure. I wouldn't even need the two, like the ecto goggles and the ghost part. I don't need those.
The accessories are really cool for the Slimed Heroes, though.
Yeah, I know. So you can see the little green thing. You can obviously add some slime into it and spurt it out. Is it?
Well, no, you add water into it because the Slimed Heroes had color changing features with water.
So I didn't even know that about them. I just like the Lewis Tully. Okay.
Yeah, the Slimed Heroes are awesome because you can see on the card back, see how like you spray water and Lewis Tully goes green.
Yep. Okay, I've misunderstood the effect. Okay, so the effect is you spray it; those bits turn green on him, not that you spray actual slime on him. And that's
correct.
That's okay.
Correct.
I get it.
I think it's cold water. Yep. Changes the color, and then warm water makes it go back to normal, something like that. But if with that said, Matt, if you picked them up loose, I'd be interested to know if the features still work or if the color changing is just, you know, through time no longer works. But either way, the Slimed Heroes are awesome.
Would you get yours loose? You'd want yours loose too. Like if you start getting Slimed Heroes,
I'd want to get all 5, and I'd want to get them all loose, and because they come with all the ecto goggles. I love all the accessories with real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Just going back to the Hasbro talk. Yeah, so Adam's saying Adam's just saying he's just got one. Hang on. So. Yeah, you don't need 2 Tatankas. And the same deal with Shawn Michaels in white. They released that figure twice, but it's identical apparently.
Okay.
And Phil's got 2 and then realized, or had 2 and then realized there were 2 released. But again, like if they're exactly the same figure, why do you necessarily need multiples?
Okay. Good advice.
Good advice, I think.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, number 2 for me is these Slimed Heroes again. They were number 3 last year, and they've moved up to number 2 in 2024. And again, like I've got them pictured carded here, but I don't want them carded. I just want them loose and complete ideally. But like if I was like, let's say I go through this whole year and I can get 1 or 2 complete, I'd be happy with that. I'm not anticipating being able to find all of them unless I bought them in all in one lot all at once, because so Slimed Heroes, if I remember correctly, Slimed Heroes was the last wave before you got the Ecto Glows.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And Simon here is talking about the ridiculously expensive glow in the dark Ecto Glow Ghostbusters. They were the last wave, and I think Slimed Heroes came just before them. So these are like the last series of Ghostbusters before they get ridiculously expensive. And even these guys now are starting to get pricey. But if I can get 1 or 2 complete, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're halfway there almost.
Exactly.
I was just reading Vintage Dave. I wanted to wear Ghost Man Pat.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you weren't giving him enough screen time, Mr. Dave. You need screen time. All right. I don't think I need the slide for number 2. My number 2 is from, well, the book you just mentioned, because I asked for this for Christmas and I got it.
Oh, awesome.
The Has book. I love this book. This is one of these just reference books that I can understand why people love reference books. To have it in your hand, like, that is so old school. Like, it's like, oh, I've just lost a page. And you're just like, flicking through a book and, or a magazine as a kid, and you're just like, oh, look at that. So I can fully appreciate it. All right. So my number 2, let me just find that again because I've just lost the page, is I need this in my collection because I see you and I see everybody. Everyone's got one. I want the wrestling ring. Look, I think it's affordable. I think you're probably paying for, look, I like it complete, but I know you can get that. There's the belt. I'd like the flag on it. I know it can be a bit disastrous to try and
the
find.
The flag's tricky.
But I would like to get it complete. I'm not sure what type of money I'm looking at to get this. This could be a bit more of the higher end, a bit more of a hopeful. But
I would guess loose, maybe $300 or $400.
Fair enough.
I mean, maybe cheaper. I don't know. I think you're probably looking at $300 at a guess.
But yeah. Damn, man, I shouldn't have got rid of it when I was.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Adam will know better than me. I was lucky enough to get my ring 6 years ago. It was one of the first purchases for my collection.
Yeah, well, 6 years ago, that would have been a lot more affordable too, wouldn't it? So
definitely. Can we show the? Hang on.
Yeah.
Can we please show the cover of that book for Si?
Oh yeah, it's called Has Book. So this guy is actually, I looked at him. He's an Australian. He's so they're on eBay. Si, when I get off here, I'll find the link, the eBay page, like sale for this, and I can send it to you.
It's a great book, Si, because it goes through everything.
So it goes through, all the series. I'm just going to sell it out here. I'll sell this. So it's like goes through all the series, like series 1 through to, it's all linked. Whatever the last one was, 12 or whatever it was. So the green card guys, 11. And then it goes through all the rings. So there's all as I just showed, the rings. So, and it's got like a few of the knockoffs.
It's got knockoffs and it's got advertisements and it's got all that cool stuff.
And Toy Fair catalogs. So this guy, Grenville Nash, has really done his research for this book. So anyway, it's unofficial, but it can be official for us. Helps us out. It's amazing, this book.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Phil's saying, like, you see rings listed with bulk figures. I think that's a good idea. Well, that's how I bought my ring. I bought my ring bulked up with about 30 figures. And it's just, obviously it's a cost-effective way to do it. But you never know. Yeah, similar book for TMNT. Not necessarily. There's an unofficial one for TMNT, I believe. But I mean, TMNT, the book that comes to mind for me is Rad Plastic. But I think that's more of that's not just about the toys, but that's a lot about like the early concept art and stuff like that. I reckon Dean is probably best to answer that question. Like, if there's like a proper reference book for TMNT.
We know Pixel Dan's doing one, but that could be a few years off.
It could be, yeah.
But that, I reckon, ultimately that'll be a fantastic book when that comes out for.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to get my hands on that. But like you were saying before, Matt, like there's something pretty special. Like it's like there's online checklists, but it's pretty cool having something tangible, printed nicely in nice quality that goes through this stuff.
Yep, those old school magazines. Used to go through magazines and. Yeah, they're old, but a few months old from the time you got them. But they're just, great to scrap through them for products.
Yeah,
toys.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Alrighty, well that brings us to our number 1, Matt. So, my number 1 is TMNT. Speaking of TMNT, it's basically the figures that are the top of my list for TMNT this year. And so last year I completed my 1990 line. So I now have 88, 89, and 90 complete. So similarly to what I'm doing with the Hasbros, now I'm just turning my attention to the main figures I need to complete 91. And it's these figures here. So 1991 is a deep wave. There's like 45 or 50 figures for 1991's TMNT line. And I've got 12 that I need. So I need quite a few still. But of those 12, the main ones that I'm chasing are these three here. So King Lionheart is a big one for me because it's the only original mutant character that I don't have in my collection from 1991, because 1991 had a lot of themed gimmicky figures. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, whereas King Lionheart is the only original, like, first version of a particular character in figure form that I don't have.
Okay.
So King Lionheart's is top of the list, and so is the movie stars that I don't have. So of the themed, gimmicky re-releases of figures, the movie stars are just incredible. The figures are, for 1991 standards, pretty movie realistic in my opinion, especially when you think of them as a kid's toy. Like, they look great. They've got that rubbery, pliable plastic limbs. The accessories are fun, and they're just great figures all around. And when you've got all four of them, they display brilliantly. And I've got movie stars Leo and Donnie in the collection. I don't have Raph or Mike. So movie stars Raph and Mike and King Lionheart for 1991's TMNT line. These are the figures that are top of the list.
Wow. They're the ones with rubbery skin, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Like, so the limbs are rubbery, which serves a couple of, like, above and beyond just being a bit of a gimmick. It makes them quite practical because they're rubbery. They've got a little bit of extra give that mean they stand well, because you can find a good point of balance. And the other thing is, because of the rubbery hands, it's really easy to pose them with weapons in their hands without worrying that you're going to break a thumb off or break a weapon's handle or something like that. Because that's one thing that's tricky with turtles, is they've got really tight gripping hands, and when you want to put weapons in their hands and take them out, it's a bit of a task. Whereas with the pliable rubbery hands of the movie stars, it's really easy to work with.
I like those electro canisters they come with too. That's cool.
Oh yeah, the ooze canisters, and that's it. They got really fun accessories. Like, they've got shields. Like, Mikey's got a pizza box shield. Yeah. Mikey's got his nunchucks, and he's got like a chain of, like, a link of sausages nunchuck. Just really cool accessories. And yeah, Lionheart's a really cool figure as well.
Influencing him.
It's what we do. So anyway, that's number one for me. It's not a big play set or a big vehicle or anything like that. It's just it's figures that I'm, that I really want to get closer to completing the first 4 waves of TMNT.
Yeah, I can't believe there's 50 in a line. That's incredible.
In just one wave, yeah, dude. 1992 has about 70 or 80 figures.
Oh wow! Dude, how far into that line?
I think I need about. I think I might be halfway through that wave. Like, there's a lot of figures I need.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, I've got the first wave. That was enough for me, and a couple of extras.
No, those are the iconic ones for sure. And Dean from Totally Tailored Retro Hunters, I think Lionheart's probably a figure that's close to his heart, because the very first time I ever met Dean was at a Collecticon, where he picked up King Lionheart for $2 in an all figures $2 tub at Collecticon, in a rummage tub for $2, which is an absolute score.
Complete.
So, not complete,
but
had his cake and was in beautiful condition. So
yeah, $2. Wow, that's a find.
All right,
number one. I've got the slide for this one.
There we go. Boom.
Yeah, Tron, boom. Oh man, I've got the figures. So there's my Tron, and he's got his little. Well, this is actually a replacement disc. So what do you call that? A replica. So, but it still glows in the dark. And so I've got all the figures, but the bikes. I'm after the bikes. Just these two. They're not too hard to find. never in Australia, so I'm going to have to get these from overseas. And look, I'm not too worried because they came with a little cord as well, so you'd slip them in and rip the cord out, and away they go with their rubber wheel along the floor. But I don't care about the cord. I think I just want the bikes in decent condition to go with the Tron collection for the vintage line. So these guys are my number one.
Awesome.
There's not much really else to say. That I have been missing out on these. I've seen them both go together. You're looking at $500-$600.
Wow.
Complete. With just by themselves with no cord, you're looking at around 100. And so that's probably what I'm going to have to look at. Maybe just without a cord, single. And I might get it for around 100, 120. Those cords, yeah, they are like people sell them in bits now. So the cord is obviously broken over the years. So they'll sell them in. Here's your cord. And there's 3 bits of it, and they still want decent dollars for it. So, but yeah, this is my number one. And I missed out on one the other day. I think one was selling on Friday. I'm at work and I was going, 1:30. Oh, that's about lunchtime. I'll pick this up for a decent price. No, missed out.
One of the cycles.
Yeah, it was the yellow one. I think it would have gone. It ended up being like about 80 Australian, without any cord. Forgot all about it.
So are the figures easier to find or not necessarily?
Yeah, they're pretty easy to find. I think I've got
the
Flynn
light
here.
cycles are the tougher one.
This is my Flynn. So probably the Warrior seems to be the easiest. It's all their glow in the dark accessories that seem to disappear over the years.
Yeah.
They're quite easy to find just as they are. If you're starting to get accessories, that's when it pushes the price up. I was lucky enough to find a guy on eBay who created all like discs and the staff for the Warrior, glow in the dark, and they sort of are held in the back there. There's a little hole in the back, and that little disc just pops into the back there. So it's still, that works as it should. And
nice.
So yeah, I'm happy. I'm not in the market to sell these or anything. So these are just for the collection, and they display amazingly. So. Yeah,
awesome. The figures look beautiful. Scott seems like he's either got or had quite a lot from
Yeah, so that's what I brought down to show like that. That's the white one. Is that what you're talking about, Scott? The white one from the Legacy one from 2010.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so I've got a couple. I only got the light cycle, and there's a deluxe one I got as well. I only got a couple of figures from that line because I obviously had missed out on the light cycle from the 80s. So that one was a poor replacement, but still very cool. Yeah, excellent toy line. I love that toy line. So awesome. I've seen Lukey's video. I've rewatched that a couple of times. I need those.
Yeah, they look sick.
Yeah, excellent figures. Excellent little line. What that one is. So that is my number one, and I think it's probably achievable to get at least one or both of those into the collection. Maybe just one. I'd be happy to
one. Nice. It'd be interesting to see when we reconvene this time next year to see how we went. Let's hope we all, let's hope both of us have chances to pick up all of what we've run through. But before we wrap it up, do you want to just talk about throw in a bonus Grail pick?
Oh yeah. Okay, let me just flick that over there for you. And you can show it on the screen. All right, this one here. So feel free to show that now.
Okay.
All right, this one is Tiger Toys from 92, 93, Land of the Lost. So another one. Obviously, as collectors, we are always, searching. So this has been on a search for a long time. I've had the other toys in the line for many years. And this one has just eluded me because it is a little bit pricey. That's why it's a Grail. And hard to get complete. There's usually parts lost. So I loved Land of the Lost as a little kid, like the original 70s version. And in the early 90s, they redid the show. Just a new show, new actors, new characters. But I still watched it whenever I could. And when I found out they did toys, they had to get into the collection for sure because Land of the Lost, still made by Sid and Marty Croft back in the 90s.
What year is this?
92, 93.
92.
But they just did 2 seasons. Yeah.
I don't know, something about it feels like more of a throwback. Like this doesn't necessarily, like the packaging and the toy itself doesn't, like it kind of looks it's got an 80s look about it. I know it's only the early 90s, but it's got a real classic look to it.
Yeah, I guess it does. I don't know. It's just maybe they've tried to incorporate the 70s logo a little bit into the box art there, so that's why it looks a little bit between the 70s and the 90s.
Yeah, I think it's got that, like that's why I had to ask, because I knew that that's a 90s line, but it's got a little bit of an earlier look to it, just to me. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just, I mean, you can see in the other picture there when it's out of its box, sometimes that tray on the back is on top there on the roof is lost. Sometimes there's a battery. No problem. Thanks, you for joining us. Sometimes they're like there's a battery compartment on the front there, and it's got lots of sounds. Sometimes that cover of the battery compartment's lost. So yeah, there's good. It's a little bit hard to find complete sometimes. So
is this the kind of thing that's likely to pop up in Australia, whether it's at a toy fair or on eBay, or is this more so like something that you're more likely to have to get from overseas?
I think just where I'm at, I think, and I'm not sure about Andrew, but like for myself, a lot of my collecting these days is from overseas. It just has to be like I'm so far and deep into my collection now that a lot of the pieces I just can't find in Australia, and if they are in Australia, they're just such poor quality. So I've just got to go overseas. Condition-wise, yeah,
and probably overpriced because they never turn up here.
They never turn up. Exactly right, Scotty. They just, people go, oh look, it's a vintage toy, and it's got no accessories, but we'll charge $100 for it. It's like, well, I can get that from America for $50. So yeah. Anyway, that's my holy grail.
Well, what we just described definitely fits the bill for my grail pick.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting for the stars a little bit here because I don't see myself finding this in Australia. And my grail pick is the Monster in My Pocket Monster Mountain playset or display case. So
beautiful.
I was lucky enough or fortunate enough or, grateful enough to complete my childhood Monster in My Pocket collection last year. Big shout out to Deke at Freaky Deaky Toys for helping me out with the last monster that I needed, the Wendigo, to complete that collection. Now that I've completed that collection, I'm thinking about how I want to display it. And in my opinion, there's no better way to display your 1990 Monster in My Pocket collection than the Monster Mountain. The problem is they never turn up here in Australia. If they do, they're loose, and these things are super breaky. I've not actually seen one in the flesh, but from what I can tell just from seeing pictures or seeing them in videos is it's like a blow molded plastic that's very just cracks and just comes apart easily. So if I was going to buy one, so Dave's saying as well, like they're super fragile. No, that's it, Dave. Like I'm thinking if I was to buy this, I would probably want to pony up and spend more and get a sealed in the box because the box art is beautiful. And I'd like to think that if it was sealed, it would be packed with foam and it would be packed in a way where like it would be better to transport than one that was like just complete in the box, but it had been opened and put back in there. So, I mean, it's not something that I'm holding my breath for. I don't expect to get it, but hey, listen, our top 5 wish list is very attainable, whereas now we're shooting for the stars a little bit. So, and that's what's fun. It's fun to talk about it and throw this stuff out, and you never know. But Dean, would I be happy with a Repro Mountain? Absolutely not. If I'm not I'm not on my high horse saying that you don't buy Repro or whatever. But for me, nah, the thrill of the hunt is the thrill of trying to find a vintage original. You know what I mean? So
correct.
Yes.
Are these okay?
So yes, Scott is also saying it's brittle. Yeah, from what I understand, like even if you find one that's in like relatively good condition, you'll usually see a laundry list of all the little issues. You know what I mean? Like you'll see an eBay listing where it's in like good use condition and here's cracks and missing the monster names But yeah, I have been watching Toy Shop on Tour from the Leicester Vintage Toy guys, and I did watch Series 2 where they traveled through Europe, and I saw tons of Monster Mountains throughout that series. Like a lot of the shops they visited had Monster Mountains. So I think it's the kind of thing that, like, internationally, maybe it's not considered a holy grail, but as we sit here in Australia, it is a holy grail because I've been toy hunting here in Australia for 6 or 7 years, and I've not seen one at a toy fair. And in that time, I've probably seen maybe 2 listed on eBay in that time, and one of them was $999, and the other one was, I think, maybe $600 or $700, and they were loose. And I'm not paying that. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it.
Are they more regularly found in the UK, like, or Europe?
I believe so. Okay. I believe so. But anyways, that's
that would be good.
That's my grail pick. That's our wish list. Scott's looking for his 5 pilots for Voltron. Hope you can track down those. That would be very cool for 2024.
Like
but guys, that's it for us. Anything else that you wanted to go through or show off or mention before we wrap up?
There's been a lot of showing, a lot of talking.
Well, we've been going for a full 2 hours now. We intended to get it done in 90 minutes. That was probably always going to be a bit ambitious, but you know, I got to give a massive shout out to all the people in the chat that have, you know, been very, very vocal and got involved and participated. We've had we've kind of had 25 or more the whole time, which is just awesome. So
that's excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. So thanks so much, guys.
It's definitely fun, isn't it? More fun.
Well, that's exactly right. The origin of this stream was, like, last year I was going to do this as a video, but I just thought, man, talking about the favorite pickups of the year and what I'm on the hunt for in the next year, like, that's way more fun doing it with someone else in live stream form, getting the input from you guys rather than just doing it as a video. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Gladiators,
yeah. No. Hornby. It's interesting because the Australian Gladiators, they reuse the same molds, but they were Krona here in Australia. Yeah, Gladiators. That's a blast. But yeah, so thanks to you guys in the chat. Matt, thank you so much for joining me and for giving me a couple of hours of your time and making it so fun. Now, is there anything that we're keeping an eye out for on Keep On Collecting next week, or you not particularly?
No, mate. I just actually I was talking to Andrew today, and it's really hard to get motivated to do any filming. I set something up the other day, filmed, and I just went, "This is just rubbish," and I just deleted it. And you got to feel it to record. I don't record.
You got to feel it, mate. I put out my Christmas haul video in the first couple of days of the year, and I haven't filmed since. I've given myself permission just to have a couple of weeks off. I am getting ready to film my next video, which is going to be we're going to assemble the Crash Dummies Junkyard playset, which I'm excited to do because I finally completed this. So that's my next video. But I haven't even filmed it yet. I'll probably film it sometime this week, and it'll probably take a week or two maybe to edit. So that's going to be my next one, but that's not going to be for a couple of weeks. In the meantime, obviously, we've given a plug to the Taylor's video tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight. We've also got the Mutagents a week from tomorrow. So we'll be back with the other boys for that live stream on the evening of Monday, the 22nd. But that's it for me, guys. Once again, guys, thanks to all the legends in the chat for joining us and making it so fun.
Yep.
And
thank you, guys.
And we'll see you back soon for the next one. We've got Insane in the Toy Brain. We've got Dan and Monique calling for a bit of stop motion, which I love.
Thanks, guys. The first one I've completed.
That's awesome, mate. Definitely keep them coming. But I totally get that you need to be in the right frame of mind and you need to be motivated. It's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all good.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight.
For sure. Thanks so much, guys. You know, both of us will see you back, no doubt, in the next couple of weeks, whether it's live streams or videos. But until then, guys, thanks again. We really appreciate you hanging in, and we'll see you soon. And obviously, it's probably look, maybe it's a touch too late to say it, but we obviously want to wish you guys a happy new year and hope 2024 is really kind to you. And
man.
Journey. Yeah. Yep, we hope it's a big year for your guys' collections. And yeah, we'll see you back soon for the next one.
Yeah, see you soon, everyone. Thank you very much.
Catch you later.
See you.